Hello and welcome back to your mat and welcome to this mini workshop. So this is going to be just a small little short workshop on working on body awareness. So body awareness is a really big goal in yoga. It helps in a lot of ways. A lot of us don't even really realize or pay attention to our bodies all that often. So yoga is all about really tuning into the body and becoming very aware of it, and you'll see that it has a lot of benefits. So for today, if you have a journal that you keep or a notebook nearby and pen, paper, or if you keep an online journal maybe, or you've got it note-taking on your phone or whatever you like to use. I personally prefer writing things down. It's just nice to have it handwritten, but that's me. I'm kind of old school. So if you have something like that, that's great. You don't have to have it, but you might find it helpful for this little workshop we're going to do. So we're going to start with a quote by Richard Freeman because I think this really sets the tone for the entire workshop. And again, this is going to be a short one, so don't worry. Yoga begins with listening. When we listen, we are giving space to what is. It's Richard Freeman, so I'll say that again. Yoga begins with listening. When we listen, we are giving space to what is. So what we're going to do in today's practice is we're going to do one side. We're going to start out noticing, first of all, we're going to notice where we are to begin with, and then we're going to do one side, and we're going to be mostly focused here on the shoulder area. So we're just going to take the one body part for today, or body area. And then we're going to have a pause in between, and we're going to make some notice. We're going to notice and have a little noticing time to see how we feel from between one side to the other. We'll do a little symmetrical poses in between, a couple of little things to help round that out, and then we'll go to the other side, and then we'll have, again, another noticing session. So again, if you have something to write down, that would be great. And this is going to be all seated, so you're not going to need to have any props, nothing crazy going on here. This is all going to be seated. If you want a prop, like such as a blanket, not a blanket, well, it could be a blanket or a pillow to sit up on, that'd be great. You can sit up on a block, you can sit up on your heels, you can sit cross-legged, you can sit however you want. So we're going to first just come to that, whatever seat is going to work for you. And for about 30 seconds or so, we're going to close our eyes and we're just going to simply notice. And this is really hard if you've never done this before or if you're not used to doing this, to really tune in and listen to your body. So don't get frustrated if you don't really feel anything right away, or you feel like you just can't notice anything. Just give yourself a couple of breaths to arrive here with your eyes closed. I think that really helps. And just notice where you are right now. How do you feel? Is there anything that's tight, restricted, painful, maybe that feels good? There's no judgment here. We're just simply noticing. So I'm going to give you a couple of quiet moments. You can breathe in and out here during this. I want you just to notice how you're arriving on your mat today, how you're arriving for this. Really take the time to notice. And if you want, grab that journal. If there's anything that comes to mind, like, hey, I've got this achy back. I'm actually kind of feeling good on my right hip today. Normally that bothers me. Whatever it is, jot that down. Make those notes if you wish. So we're going to take another minute here or so just to notice and make note of anything. But really listen. Listen to what your body is telling you. Our body has this innate wisdom. All right, take another breath or two. Finish up writing if you're writing. And then I'm going to come up and sit on my heels, but you can sit in whatever seat works for you. So if a pillow works best for you, or just a simple cross-legged. We're going to start with the left side today. So we're going to bring the neck over to the right shoulder. And you can use your right hand to gently hold that in place. Don't put a lot of pressure here, but you can gently hold it in place. And this left hand is going to go out to the side. And while you got this nice long length here in your neck and your shoulders. So we're working on the left side first. We're going to take and rotate the wrist in circles. So we're doing a little double whammy here. We're getting the neck a little bit of a stretch through the shoulder, down through the arm, and then we're just going to circle the wrist. So we're giving our wrist joint a little bit of love, and you could go the other direction. Really give that stuff, but again, you're not tugging on your neck here. You're just giving a gentle nudge there. And then then you can flick the wrist a few times, just flicking your hand out like you're flicking water off of your hand. And then let that go still for a moment and just let it dangle in space. And then using your right hand, bring your head back up to center and rest your hands in your lap for just a moment. And then from here, we're going to do what I call is moving cow face arms. So if you know what cow face arms are, then you'll know where we're going. And don't worry, you don't have to actually take the bind. So I'm going to show you from behind first, just so you can see what we're going to be doing here. So we're going to start with that left hand again. So we're standing on the left side for this first round. So the left hand is going to go up and bend that elbow, and you're going to bring that left hand here somewhere on the back of your neck. Your right hand is going to come out, thumb pointing down, and then you're going to bend that elbow in and bring it in any amount. So it might stay here on the small of your back. It might kind of swim up your back. And you may clasp, but we're going to be in a moving one here. So we're not really working for the clasp here. So wherever your hand, wherever that right arm lands is fine. Okay, so that's what we're going for. But what we're going to do is we're going to move in and out of that. So we're going to inhale and bring that left arm up overhead and bring that right arm behind us any place. And then exhale, release the arms out to the side. Inhale, come back into that posture. So go ahead and bring that left arm up, right arm behind you. Exhale, both arms out to the side. Inhale, bring that left arm up, bend at the elbow, right arm behind you. Exhale, out. Let's go a few more rounds at your own pace. You can go fast or slow here, whatever feels best. But again, we're not necessarily going to clasp the hands because we're not holding. We're just moving in and out of that shoulder joint there. So go to your degree that works for you. Modify as needed. Let's go a couple more rounds of that. And last one. You get a little warmth also in that shoulder and release that and shake that out. Now we're going to come down to our belly. So go ahead and come on down. And we're going to do another stretch there for the left again. So you're going to stretch that left arm out straight on the mat. You can also play around with this and decide which works best for you. Straight out on the mat, or you can have it in like a cactus arm shape like this on the ground. So you'd have your elbow bent and maybe your elbow will be slightly higher than your left shoulder. And what you're going to do from here is you're going to bring that left, wait, I don't miss the mic up here. You're going to bring your left ear down to the mat. So whether your arm is out straight or if it's bent, you can bring your left ear down to the mat, and then you're going to turn yourself over any amount. So for whatever reason, I can go further when my arm is straight out, but when I bend my arm, I can't go quite as far. It's a slightly different stretch, so go ahead and try both of them out and see what works for you and where you need the stretch at today. So go ahead and roll over onto that left side any amount, and you may still be more toward the ground, that's fine. But you should really feel that stretch in that left side there. So stay here for a few rounds of breath. You can close your eyes if you like. You don't want to come into this too far. If it's painful, then you need to back off and come back out. It should not be painful. Another inhale. And exhale. Just really being here in this pose for another round of breath. And then go ahead and roll back over onto your belly. And come on up to sit back to your seat. So come all the way back up. And I want you, again, to come to a seat, close your eyes, and notice. This is our noticing period before we go to the other side. What do you notice between the two sides? Do you feel any difference between your left side of your neck and your right side, your left shoulder and your right shoulder, maybe your left wrist and your right wrist? You may not notice anything, and that's okay. Just close your eyes and notice if you feel any subtle differences. And if you do and you want to capture that, grab your journal and make a note of that if you like. So before moving to the other side, we're going to do some symmetrical stuff here. So we're going to go ahead and do some shoulder rolls, just simple shoulder rolls. So roll the shoulders in circles, up and back and down, up, back and down. And then the same, go in the other direction, up and forward and down. Just rolling out the shoulders before we go to the other side. And then bring your arms up into a cactus shape. Goalpost arms, open the chest, let all that breathe. Take another breath. And then interlace your hands, palms facing out, and push out in front of you. Stretching through there. You might have a little round in your back here, and that's okay. And then go ahead and rise your arms up overhead any amount, whatever feels best. Pushing through the hands, the interlaced hands. And release all that. Now we'll go to the other side. So I'm going to come back onto my heels. You can come onto the blanket or pillow if you like, or just stay in a simple seat. And now you know where we're going. We're going to the other side. So let's go to the other side now. So go ahead and bring your left ear to your left shoulder. You can use that left hand to gently guide that and hold that in place. Right arm is going to dangle out here in space off to the side. And we're just going to give the wrist some circles here. So some circular motion with the wrist, working through the joints of the right wrist. It's a gentle stretch on the right side of the neck and down through the shoulder and down through the arm. And then you can go the other direction on that wrist, circles. Make sure you're breathing throughout all this. And then go ahead and use your left hand to bring your head back up to center and come back to your seat. Now from here we're going to do those moving cow face arms again. So again, this time we're going to have the right arm is going up. So the right arm is going to bend at the elbow, and that right hand will come down here at the neck. Left hand will come out with the thumb down and bring that left arm behind you any amount. So it may just be here, it may be further up, wherever it is. We're not going for the clasps because we're not going to hold it. Okay, so we're going to move in and out of that pose. So go ahead on the inhale, bring the right arm up, bend it in, left arm behind you. Exhale, both arms out to the side. Inhale, right arm up, bent in, left hand behind you, left arm behind you. Exhale, arms out to the side. And go ahead and do this a few rounds at your own pace. You can go slow, you can go faster. Whatever feels good, you are going to build a little bit of heat in that shoulder, which is good. Warming up a little bit. Bring some life to that. So go ahead and go at your pace and at your degree here. So your arm may not come up as high, may not come as far in, or it might go up even further. We're all different. We all have different restrictions, mobility, all of that. And in some cases, some of us are really flexible and can go a lot further. Let's go 2 more. Release that. Shake that arm out a little bit. You probably can feel that now, the heat building there. And then we're going to lie down again onto our belly. And we're going to do the pec stretch, the shoulder stretch over on the right side. So you can bring your arms straight out in front of you if you like on the mat, or you can have it bent. I'm going to do bent this time just to show the difference. So, but if you do have your elbows slightly higher than your shoulder, you'll have your right ear down to the ground, and then you're going to simply turn over onto that right side any amount. So you should really feel that stretch. And I encourage you, if you've never done this before, to try both and see which works better for you and which has a better stretch and feels better in your body. We're going to stay here for a few rounds of breath. And I'm using my left hand kind of as a kickstand over here on the left, so you can use that to kind of help hold you in place. You should definitely feel that right there in that the right shoulder area. And in the pec area, depending on if you have your arm outstretched or if it's bent. Stay for another round of breath. And then release yourself back to the ground here, and we'll come back up to that seat. Come on back up to whatever seat works for you. Make it comfortable. And again, we're going to have another noticing period. So close your eyes and now notice, do the sides feel more balanced? Do you feel different than you did from the beginning of class? I mean, this was a short practice, but what do you notice in terms of differences? So close your eyes and really listen for a minute, and I'll give you a moment to just do that. What feels good? What felt good in those poses? What didn't? Which ones do you want to maybe add into your routine? Just notice what your body is telling you. And we'll just finish on a quick little note here. Body awareness is a really important skill to develop, to listen to our bodies, because our bodies are full of wisdom and they will often tell us when there's something wrong or needs addressed, but we often don't listen. We don't take the time to listen. So I hope this workshop kind of gave you that ability, or that to try to do that, to try to listen to what your body is saying before a class and even during a class. So if you made notes, or if you want to make notes after the end of this class, feel free. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this was helpful content. Until next time.